is absorbed at a constant temperature of by mass time, and a solid substance is converted into a liquid, then it is called as a specific latent heat of fusion.
Okay. Varat Joshi, mute yourself. Varat Joshi. If you want to tell any answer, you can tell. Okay. So yesterday, I want to show you this table. So you can see here water, ice, its melting point, boiling point, specific latent heat of fusion, specific latent heat of vaporization. So all these are things are given here. Okay. So water, its melting point and boiling point, we know very well. It's 0 degree, it's a melting point, and the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. Then next one is there. If you see there, specific latent heat of fusion in a kilojoule, and second one is there calorie per gram. Okay. So 333, and it's their calorie 80 calorie per gram, and specific latent heat of fusion, what is there? 2256 in kg, and for calorie 540 per gram. So like this, this ethyl alcohol is also very important. Afterwards we require these values. Ethyl alcohol minus 117 78, it will become in lesson number 9, yeah, lesson number 9 compound. There again you will get this ethyl alcohol's value. Okay, so remember it. So we have started yesterday about the Hobbes apparatus. Okay, now this is the Hobbes apparatus. You can see here in front of you. This figure is Hobbes apparatus, and by this Hobbes apparatus we can check, or we can do the experiment on the anomalous behavior of water. What is by anomalous behavior of water? Who will tell me?
So the behavior of water during 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius is called as anomalous behavior of water.
Yeah, it is a very, we can say in short, that definition is correct. Another student can tell about it. He has told very nice. He's giving answers, good things. There are 34 students. Others have to speak. So yesterday I told read to students about this. If you see there, the animals behavior of water can be studied with the help of apparatus, that is Hobbes apparatus, and there it is a cylindrical. You can see this is the middle cylinder is here. This is bowl. These two thermometers are there. Very simple apparatus. Nothing there complicated things are here. And here we have to put the mixture of the salt and ice. Okay. So can you tell me why salt is added in the ice? What is the purpose behind it? Anybody can guess about it? Why salt is added in the ice in this mixture? If we will add salt in ice, that time one answer came. Who is that? I want to see it. For maximum density, not like this. So ice will not melt immediately. So you know very well, when we are removing ice from refrigerator or its cooler or whatever the things, afterwards it start the melting. Yes, it will be converted into the water. But due to the salt, when it is mixed, that time it will slow down that process to melt into the water. Okay. So now here there are two thermometers, T1 and T2, and here we added already freezing mixture, that is the ice and salt. So what we have to do? We have to see initially what is the temperature of T1 and T2, means thermometer T of first and thermometer second. So T1 is the temperature for thermometer 1 and T2 is the temperature for thermometer 2. But when we are adding water in it and this mixture, that time we can notice through this experiment, this T1 thermometer temperature reduces very faster than the T2. Okay, and at 4 degrees Celsius, it will be there constant. At a 4 degrees Celsius, it will be stop for a while, minute or second. Why? That time, the temperature of thermometer T2, it will be decreasing faster. And when both temperature T1 and T2 will be the same equal 4 degrees Celsius, then afterwards, this thermometer 2 means T2, the temperature decreases very faster than the T1. First, T1 decreases faster than the T2 until the 4 degrees Celsius. And when it will become on the 4 degrees Celsius, then thermometer T2 temperature will be decreased faster than the T1. Why this happen? Can you tell me? So after 4 degrees Celsius, the thermometer T1 temperature will reach at 0 degrees Celsius little slower than the T2. This happened due to this freezing mixture. See there one thing, we know that heat or cold always flows from lower to the higher or higher to the lower,
Higher to lower.
higher to lower. So now here if you see this freezing mixture is in the middle and T2 thermometer is the above of that mixture. So T1 thermometer is downside. So what happened? These freezing mixtures effects will happen whatever their liquid inside means water inside. And due to that reason, this water which is present here in this portion, it will be become their cold very faster than the T1, this above portion. Getting it? But at 4 degrees Celsius, what happened is it will be start the expanding or contracting. Can you tell me? See that one thing at 0 degrees Celsius, this water means in liquid state, but from 0 to 4, it's converting into the ice. Its volume increases. So here, due to that, at 4 degrees Celsius, it will be here stable until this temperature will not reduce. 4 degrees Celsius, when both temperature will be same, then this thermometer will go first at 0 degrees Celsius and this temperature will go little slower than the thermometer T2. Okay. So now here if you see there, once that temperature T1 of the lower part reaches 4 degrees Celsius, it remains almost stable. At that temperature, T2 decreases slowly at 4 degrees Celsius. Thereafter, since T2 starts changing rapidly, it records 0 degrees Celsius first. And after that, the lower temperature T1 records 0 degrees Celsius temperature. The point of intersection of the two curves shows the temperature of maximum city. Now we have to see there with the help of one graph is there given. If you see here, this is a graph. These are T1 temperature with the first thermometer and here T2. By this graph also we can explain it. Do you getting something? Your point of intersection at 4 degrees Celsius both are the same. You see there point if you see there and it will be intersect, but from this point of intersection what happen? T2 temperature decreases very faster than the T1. T1 goes slowly. These times we are measuring in the seconds. Okay. So here this given 5, 10, 15 like this. Maybe it will take their minutes also. Okay. So here given in the minutes because it's minimum 1 hour we have to do this experiment, or hardly we are doing it 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes that whatever our freezing mixture it will be melt and it shows the result. Okay. So now here who will read this? Already I explained it. Who has raised the hand? Tanish Pahade. Okay. Other students are unable to read. Two hands only. Out of 32, only two students are raising the hands. What about others? Okay, Tanish, read it.
Yes, sir. From however, no.
Yeah, how can?
Yes, sir. How can we explain these observations? Initially, the temperature of water in the middle of cylinder lowers due to freezing mixture in the outer bowl. Since the temperature of water there decreases, its volume decreases and its density increases. The water with higher density moves downwards. Therefore, the lower thermometer T1 shows rapid fall in the temperature, and this continues till the temperature of water becomes equal to 4 degrees Celsius. When the temperature of water starts decreasing below 4 degrees Celsius, its volume increases and density decreases. It therefore moves in the upward direction. The temperature of water in upper part T2 therefore decreases rapidly to 0 degrees Celsius. The temperature of water in the lower part T1, however, remains at 4 degrees Celsius for some time and then decreases slowly to 0 degrees Celsius.
Okay. So, do you understood from this paragraph?
Yes,
Students?
sir.
Or I have to explain again? Already I explained it. Only here words are changes. Volume increases. Water start decreasing below the 4 degrees Celsius. Volume increases. Already we yesterday discussed about it. What is the relation between the mass, volume, and density? Okay, Tanish.
Sir, can I tell?
Yeah,
Sir, density is directly proportional to mass and inversely proportional to volume.
yeah, correct. So here, what happens when density increases? Volume will be decreases. When volume increases, density will be decreases. And same thing is here mentioned. The temperature of water in the middle of cylinder lowers due to the freezing mixture in the outer bowl. Since the temperature of water there decreases, its volume decreases and its density increases. The water with higher density moves downwards, therefore the lower temperature T1 shows rapid fall in the temperature and this continues till the temperature of water becomes equal to 4 degrees Celsius. Already I explained these all things. Why this happen? Due to this freezing mixture and its temperature will be rapid fall. Okay. And at 4 degrees Celsius it will be there stable because we know that at 4 degrees Celsius water shows the anomalous behavior of water and due to that reason it's there remain. Okay, and then afterwards when here above also same temperature will be there and then this T2 will be decrease faster than the T1 and this is happened due to the anomalous behavior of water. Now in aquatic regions if you see there animals those are living in the under the ice. Have you seen? I think I explained about it when you were in 7th standard. How many students remember that one incident I told? Okay, how many students seen that entertainment picture movie? Akshay Kumar's movie there.
Yes, sir.
Now you'll get, I think, correct? No, I don't like.
Yes, sir.
So there, if you see that dog, that dog was the what happened? It went downside and afterwards comes up. But when that dog entered in the water, that time whatever the layer of the ice, it was again same. Why this happen? Can you tell me? In this lesson only we have seen that topic also.
What? What is the question?
When that dog entered in that ice, that water, and when it goes down, afterwards again that ice is means their layer was there same.
Sir, due to regulation.
Yeah, due to the regulation, that's the thing happen. When what is the regulation? Ganesh Patil. Gosavi Ishita, can you tell me? Sai Devkar and Tanish Pade, these two students are only giving the answer. What about others? Shiva Marote, Atharva Shivarkar, Om Ambekar, Prasad Shinde, Sarthak Bambare, Gosavi Ishita, Krishna Lokhande, Krishna Chine. Chine, are you here? Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell me? Okay, Devkar, you can.
Yes, sir. Sir, on the ice layer, the pressure of the dogs fall, and after the pressure, the ice breaks, and the dog goes in. Afterwards, when the dog goes in, the ice again reconverts into ice. This is a regulation
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah, in that picture it shows that when it that dog falls on that ice layer, due to the pressure, it there breaks and that dogs enter in the water. And again, that water is converted into the ice, and due to that it's formed a layer of ice. If you'll see there, even though upside ice layer, then below that ice layer, whatever their aquatic animals and plants, they can survive. How this happen? Can you tell me?
Sir, they might be habitat.
Okay, in another student, good, tried. What happened? That ice means that water is converted into the ice. Okay. So due to that reason, above the surface temperature is there 4 degrees Celsius, but below it, that water, its temperature they are maintained. It is not a falls below it. Okay. And whatever they require the oxygen for surviving, it's sufficient. They are getting from that water only. Due to that reason, they can survive you in that condition also. If there that water is converted, its upper layer, we can say it's converted into the ice, then also they can survive you in this condition also. Okay, now dew point and humidity. Can you tell me about the dew point? Yes, Tanish.
Sir, a specific temperature where water vapors get converted into liquid form means water is known as dew point.
Okay, good. In another student, have you seen dew drops in winter
Yes,
season?
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, this happen due to this dew point only. Okay, so about 71% of the earth is covered by the water. Do you know very well these things? You have learned in geography. Okay. And one most important thing, their water cycle is continuously going on. The constant evaporation of water is going on. That water vapors are always present in the atmosphere, but we feel that in winter season more and in summer season less. Can you tell what happened? What happened? This water evaporation process is going on continuously same. That same amount of that water vapors means water is converted into water vapors. Then water vapors we know very well it's mixed with the air in the atmosphere, and then afterwards with the help of air it goes up and it's converted into the clouds. And when it will get that favorable condition, that time that clouds will be there, get friction with each other, and they falls in the form of rain on the earth. So this process is going on continuously, but in summer season, temperature is the higher. Temperature is the higher. Due to that reason, whatever their water vapors, that we are not getting that much cold. And in winter season already their water vapor is more in the air. Due to that reason, we can feel that time air is very cold. Getting it?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no?
Yes,
Yes.
And
sir.
these water vapors present in the form of moist in the atmosphere, it is called the humidity. It's called the humidity. In the early morning, if you see there, water feels there cold. Sorry, air feels cold us. Now suppose those are sitting outside, they can feel it. Air is cold. But afternoon
Yes,
we'll
sir.
feel that air is the hot. And again evening we'll see that we'll feel that air is cold. This happens due to temperature. And these water vapors, how much water vapors are present in it? That's called the humidity. Getting it? Humanity,
Yes, sir.
humanity
Yes,
is a
sir.
different word. Humidity is the different word. So here you can see the definition. The presence of water vapor in the air makes it moist. The moisture in the atmosphere is called the humidity. So here, for a given volume of air, a specific temperature, there is a limit on how much water vapor the air can contain. So there depends on the temperature, how much air it can contain. If temperature is lower, then it can't contain the more water vapors. But the amount of this water vapor is exceeds than the limit. And that time what happen? This water is converted into droplets, water droplets, and when it will be fallen on the grass, on the trees or leaves, that time we can say it is a dewdrops. It is called the dewdrops. And here you will see there, when the air contains maximum possible water vapor, it is said to be saturated with vapor at the temperature. The amount of vapor needed to saturate the air depends on temperature of the air. If air temperature is low, it will needs less vapor to saturate the air. Saturation and unsaturation about the water vapors. For example, is when there, if temperature of air is the 40 degrees Celsius, it can contain 49 gram of water vapor per kilogram of dry air without condensation. See there. At 40 degrees Celsius, how many gram will be there? 49 gram per kilogram of air without condensation. If the amount of water vapor exceeds this limit, the additional vapor will condense. However, if the temperature of air is 20 degrees Celsius, it can contain only 14.7 grams of water vapor per kilogram of dry air without condensing. If the vapor content in air is less than the maximum limit, then the air is said to be unsaturated. Means in summer season, if you see there, it is the air is unsaturated, and in winter season, it is there saturated air. Is it correct? What I have
Yes, sir.
It's correct. Check at once.
Yes.
So suppose unsaturated air at certain temperature is taken and its temperature decreases. A temperature is reached at which the air becomes saturated with vapor. This temperature is called the dew point temperature. Means unsaturated air converted into the saturated air, and that time whatever the temperature decrease, that point is called a dew point temperature. Remember that temperature is called a dew point temperature. Got it? This definition, it's very important definition. See there, humidity, then dew point temperature. On these questions are arise, and there is a chances, but just this is our all natural phenomena. Every day we are, means every year we are observing it, we are feeling it, so we can remember these things very easily. And one more thing, students, remember, science is our life. It's nothing than different. It's not a subject, remember. It's just whatever things we don't know that we are getting from the subject related to us. Now next thing we have to see here about the relative humidity. Already we have seen the humidity means what. Here you can see the presence of water vapor in the air makes it moist. The moisture in the atmosphere is called the humidity. And when we have to see there, it's a percentage relative humidity. So actual mass of water vapor contained in the air in a given volume upon mass of vapor needed to make the air saturated in that volume multiplied by 100. This ratio is called the percentage relative humidity. Now, what is meant by relative humidity? That definition is given there. That very simple. Only remove the this 100 from this formula. You can remember it. It is the ratio of actual mass of water vapor contained in the air in a given volume to the mass of vapor needed to make the air saturated in the air volume. This is called the relative humidity. Getting it, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other having doubt related to it?
No, sir.
And
No, sir.
those students who want to leave the group, yeah, you can leave immediately this meeting, because today I'm going to little extend this our meeting, and we are going to complete this lesson. Okay, minimum 10 minutes I'm going to extend. So those are not interested, really sorry to say like this, but some are leaving meeting in middle. It's not good sign. Last year I was conducting meeting for 2 hours, not about only 40-50 minutes. When I got 10 standard charge, that time syllabus was very back. Now it's not that much back, but we can complete, because suppose next week it will be there close online classes, then it's not possible to us complete this lesson again. Very big gap will be go there 10-15 days whatever there. Then again you have to remember it. I know that you will take total rest in that 15 days. Okay. So the relative humidity at the dew point is 100%. If the relative humidity is more than the 60%, we feel that air is humid. When we can feel the air is humid? When this humidity is 60%, more than it. And if the relative humidity is less than the 60%, that time we can feel the air is dry. In summer season, we are feeling the air dry. Means this happen due to the relative humidity is less than the 60%. And in winter, same thing is there. So in winter season, you may have observed a white trail at the back of the flying plane in the clear sky. Have you seen that white trail?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. So what happened there? As the plane flies, the vapor released by the aeroplane engine condense the air and form the clouds. If the surrounding air is having more relative humidity, it takes a long time for the white trail formed by condensation of the vapor to disappear. So we have seen that whatever there, it's their air. Maybe it's some people are saying that it's aeroplanes. Just more smoke is coming out. Okay, but not like that. There is condensation of the air, vapor is there, and it will be converted into the cloud, white cloud. Due to that reason, in winter season we can see its maximum time, but in summer season we are seeing it rarely. We are getting it in the evening time or early morning time. Okay. So now one experiment is given. You can do it. Take a bottle of cold water out of a refrigerator and keep it outside for a while. Observe the outer surface of the bottle. What you will get? Today you,
There will be drops of water.
yeah, on
Yes,
that
sir.
bottle you can find there some water droplets are there, and this is all happen due to the air atmosphere. Okay. And now you can observe this. You'll get the we sense the presence of water vapor in the atmosphere. When air cools due to the decrease in temperature, it becomes saturated with water vapor. And as a result, the excess water vapor gets converted into the tiny droplets. The dew point temperature decided by the amount of vapor in the air. Now, units of heat. Very simple. Their units are of the heat. If you see there, first one is joule in SI unit and calorie in CGS. So what is mean by calorie and what is mean by kilocalorie? Their definition is given. The amount of heat necessary to raise temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius from 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degrees Celsius is called 1 calorie heat. What is their given definition? C. The amount of heat necessary to increase the temperature. To raise means to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water, not here 1 kilogram. 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius from 14.5 to 15.5 degrees Celsius is called 1 calorie heat. And similarly, we have to see about the kilocalorie. Only one word is going to change here. The amount of heat necessary to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 degree Celsius from the 14.5 to the 15.5 degrees Celsius is called the 1 kilocalorie heat. 1 gram and 1 kg. That is the difference between it, and you can see that 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1000 calories. Just remember relation between it. Getting it, students? Any doubt about it?
No, sir, no doubt.
No, sir. No doubt.
Okay, other students. Now we have to see the always. What is here? Same thing is mentioned here. If we heat 1 kg of water by 1 degree Celsius in different temperature range than 14.5 to 15.5 degrees Celsius, amount heat is required will be slightly different. It is therefore essential to define a specific temperature range while defining the unit of heat. A calorie and joule, their relation is given 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 joule. 1 calorie is equal to how much joule? 4.
4.18 joule.
Remember this relation also. And this is given about the scientist introduction, James Prescott Joule. He was the first person to show the kinetic energy of tiny particles of matter appears as heat energy, and also that energy can be converted from one form into another. Is James Joule. He is the very important scientist in this field related to the heat. He has given the heat energy as well as related to heat. He has predicted so many things, and he has only developed the first law of thermodynamics. Thermo means heat, about the thermal, and the unit of heat then given is the honor to James Joule. So unit is there, Joule, remember. Now this specific heat capacity is very simple experiment. If you see there, we have to take the three spheres. One is their iron sphere, second is copper, and third one is their lead, which having their equal mass. And afterwards, we have to put these all three spheres in the boiling water, okay, in the beaker for some time or whatever their vessels. And then afterwards, we have to take the wax, and in that wax, we have to put these all three spheres same time, not afterwards, okay. Same time, we have to keep in this wax layer. What will happen? Where we have put the iron sphere, it will be immediately go down. Copper, it will be go down, but it will not that much the iron. And lead, it will not go that much down compared to the iron and copper. Why this happen? Can you tell me? Can you tell me why this happen? Yes, yes.
Sir, the sphere of iron absorbs more heat that of copper and lead. Therefore, it goes down more. It goes down more in the wax, and the lead absorbs less heat compared to copper and iron. Therefore, it's remain upside.
Yeah, correct. So what happened here when we are going to put these three spheres in the boiling water? That time iron will absorb the more heat, copper is the less, and iron lead is the less than both. So deuterium it's absorb the more heat. It is a more hot we can say when we will put in the wax. What will happen there? It will be melt the more wax than the other these two. Okay, and this is called the specific heat of the object. That only we have to see now. The spheres which absorb more heat from the water will give more heat to wax. More wax will thus melt and the sphere will go deeper in the wax. It can be observed that the iron sphere goes deepest into wax, lead sphere goes least, and copper sphere goes the intermediate depth. This shows that for equal rise in temperature, the three spheres have absorbed different amounts of heat. This means that the property which determines the amount of heat absorbed by the sphere is different for the three spheres. And this property is called the specific heat capacity. And definition is given. The specific heat of the object, the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of a unit mass of an object by 1 degree Celsius is called the specific heat of the object. Getting students? So
Yes,
this
sir.
is there means when the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of unit mass of an object by 1 degree Celsius is called the specific heat of the object. If you have remembered 1 calorie and kilocalories definition also, you can remember the definition. Or very simple, the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of a unit mass of an object. Unit mass means a specific mass here. Remember, 1 degree Celsius, the specific heat of the object. So here you can this observe. It is a specific heat denoted by the letter C. SI unit of is their joule per degree Celsius, kg, and CGS unit is the calorie per gram per degree Celsius. It is not per only gram degree Celsius. So water specific is 1.0, paraffin 0.54, kerosene 0.52, aluminum 0.215, iron 0.110, copper 0.0095, silver 0.056, and mercury 0.33. Okay, getting it? So you can see this, and this formula is there. The specific heat C, mass of the object m, and change in the temperature raised by the temperature means shows the delta T. So what will get the formula m into C into delta T? C is the specific heat of an object, m is the mass, and T delta T is the change in the temperature we can say or decrease the temperature. Now heat exchange. Now it's very common. Heat exchange means what? Are you bathing no? By hot water?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, when water is very hot, what we are doing?
We are adding cold water in it.
Yeah, what we are doing? They're adding the cold water. So when we are adding the cold water, then what happens?
It decreases in temperature.
So their temperature reduces, or how much you require that hot water for your bath, you are taking that much, correct? No? And these
Yes.
phenomena we are using in our daily life. We don't know. What happened actually here? Whatever there, hot water there, you are adding the cold water, then what happened? The hot water gives that heat to the cold water. Means cold water absorb the heat and due to that reason tries to balance the temperature of both there. When water is mixed, that time we can't separate. This is a hot water, this is a cold water. Okay, but those are cold particles of water. They are getting the heat from the hot, and this happened due to the one phenomena: heat or coldness always flows from higher to the lower. Okay, and it's called the heat exchange. It is called the heat exchange. So now you can see here, if heat is exchanged between a hot and cold object, the temperature of the cold object goes on increasing due to the gain of the energy, and the temperature of the hot object goes on decreasing due to the loss of energy. The change in temperature continues till the temperature of both objects attain the same value. In this process, the cold object gains heat energy and hot object loses heat energy. If the system of both the objects is isolated from the environment by keeping the inside a heat resistant box, exchange takes place between the two objects only. So nowadays we are using their red water bottles for keeping the cold water as cold and hot water as a hot. What is it? Thermos class, we know it. Yes, thermos bottles. We have already seen in the seventh standard only these things. And here is given one the principle of heat exchange there. You can see there it's given in the dark. The heat energy lost by the hot object is equal to heat energy gained by the cold object. This is called the principle of heat exchange. It is called the principle of heat exchange. And remember this, very simple to remember by your regular life example, that is a bathing water. Getting it? Now measurement of specific heat and calorimeter. Already we have seen in 7th standard this calorimeter also. 8th standard, I think Gadikar sir shown you this calorimeter. Yes or no? There was a one like box like as a wooden box was there. In that one stirrer was there.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen it? Gadikar sir shown it.
Yes, that ma'am shown us.
Yeah, Gadikar sir, that ma'am, what who were there? They shown you this calorimeter. Okay. So what was the working of that calorimeter to measure the heat? Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
So now there, the measurement of specific heat using the calorimeter. Calorimeter is an equipment we can say. So specific heat of an object can be measured using mixing method. For this calorimeter is used, and already it's given there. You have learned in the previous standard. If a hot solid object is put in the water in a calorimeter, heat exchange between the hot object and the water and calorimeter starts. This continues till the temperature of the solid object, water, and the calorimeter becomes equal. Therefore, what happened here? The measurement of specific heat, there we are getting to one formula: heat lost by the solid object is equal to heat gained by the water in calorimeter plus heat gained by the calorimeter. Getting it? This is the one formula we can say: the heat lost by the object, solid object we can say, is equal to heat gained by the water in calorimeter plus heat gained by the calorimeter. And if you see there, heat lost by the solid object is equal to mass of the solid object into its specific heat and decrease in its temperature. So here again we are getting some formulas: heat gained by the water, Q1, heat mass of the water multiplied by its specific heat and increase in its temperature. And heat gain also same thing, but here one word is changed: mass of calorimeter is here, heat gained by the calorimeter and its specific heat and increase in its temperature. Getting it, student?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here this topic was there about measurement of specific heat and calorimeter, and now some examples are there, and out of this, one example is mostly asked in exam on this lesson. Okay, please unmute yourself who they're speaking, doing something their noise. Siddhi Deshmukh, please unmute yourself. Oh, sorry, mute yourself, Siddhi, please. Okay, how much heat energy is necessary to raise the temperature of 5 kg of water from 20 degrees Celsius to the 100 degrees Celsius. So now here, what we have to find? Heat energy necessary to raise the temperature means we have to find here delta T we will get, and we have to find heat energy to raise the temperature. So we have seen the formula, mass into specific heat into delta T. Okay. So here you have to write mass is given 5 kg of water. See, for water we just seen in the that table 1 calorie kilocalorie per kg degree Celsius, and change in the temperature from 120 to the 100 means we have to take its difference between 100 minus 20 will get the 80. Okay, and then energy to be supplied to the water is equal to energy gained by the water. Then put the formula m into c into delta t, put the value 5 into 80, we'll get the answer 400 kilocalorie. How much heat energy necessary to raise the temperature of water? That 400 kilocalorie. Getting it? It's simple problem. If any doubt, you can ask me.
No doubt, sir.
Other students, do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll see the next. Thank you. So those are giving response. It's good thing. I want your responses. You are saying yes or no. I think we have extended more session today. 6:56. We'll wind up our meeting here only. Remaining two problems, I will take it afterwards. Okay. So thank you, students. Until the end of the session, you are here and you are listening very carefully, attending the session very sincerely. It shows you are very sincere about your study and do well. Like this only, do your study at the end of your exam also. You'll get good achievement, good success in your life. Okay. Thank you so
Sir,
much.
thanks to you, sir.
Why?
So after 40 minutes also you were extending the class. You tried to complete the lesson.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Because
Thank you, sir.
welcome. You are always welcome, because what happened afterwards, it's not possible. Might be there 15 days gap will be go. Then maximum students will forget what's going on. Hmm? And don't worry about it. Those one didn't get. I'm going to make its video afterwards, and I will send you. Don't worry. In these all days, you will get videos also. Hmm? Whatever I
Yes,
told
sir.
you, I will send. That might be I forgotten due to some school works. Okay. Last week I totally busy with that Maker Mela students, due to that reason I didn't prepare any one video, but now I'll make it in next week. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much, students. We'll wind up now meeting. You can join the another meeting. Okay. Bye.
Yes, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.